It's our first episode.
First episode.
It's our first official episode.
Absolutely. We're excited.
I'm excited. You got the logo in the background. We like official tissue. How you feeling today?
I am feeling good today. I'm feeling like something good is going to happen in this conversation. How about yourself?
The same. I mean, I had a rough day. You know, some of those days it's just mentally, emotionally not at 100%. But I'm excited to be here, excited to talk about some things. I mean, we always have good, funny conversations.
Absolutely.
So I was definitely looking forward to that, like that mood lifter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what are we talking about today?
So we're talking about something. We discussed this a little bit. And it was funny because right after we talked about it, I felt like I kept seeing it.
Okay.
And I wanted to just read it for a second. It was something I saw on Threads that mentioned something I thought was kind of deep. It said, a lot of people are suffering mentally because social media has everybody thinking we're all supposed to be living the same life. What are your thoughts on that?
I would absolutely agree. I think that social media has kind of become the model or the blueprint for the way people think that life is supposed to be. And so instead of trying to identify with what the creator has designed them to be, they have turned social media into the creator and said, now I want to live my life like this. We always used to say, everybody want to be like the Joneses.
Yeah.
But now everybody wants to be what they see on social media. So if this is trending, if this is the hottest thing, then that's the model. That's what we're supposed to become. What about you?
I think you're absolutely right. I also feel like it has a lot to do with when we were younger, or not even when we were younger, but also back in the day, right? So there were celebrities, but you never knew what celebrities had going on personally. I mean, maybe if it was like a scandal or something crazy happening, but for the most part, there was no social media for you to kind of like keep tabs or be able to know what they had going on. So it was this like illusion of like mystery, kind of like besides their art, you didn't see what they had going on. So it does seem like with social media and celebrities now being at the forefront, it's like they have become the standard when it comes to how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to carry yourself, what's acceptable. Like they have kind of become like the moral authority, I think. Yeah. And to me, that's a little dangerous for a few different reasons. But I think it goes back to what the person put on Threads. Like everybody feels like they got to be doing the same thing. Everybody feels like they got to be posing the same, wearing the same wigs, wearing the same outfits, having the same lingo. Whereas I feel like before social media, there was like, I don't know, it was like nice to be different.
Yeah.
And it was a picture I saw actually, now that we're talking about this, it was somebody that posted like a throwback, and it was like a group of friends, but they all looked different. Like they all was dressed different. And that was literally the caption. Like this was when it was okay to like be different, and not have to look the same way. And I feel like there's a lot of people, men and women, who might struggle with their identity because they feel like, if I'm not looking like this or sounding like this or acting like this, like I'm not desirable maybe.
So I think desirable is the word. I would also say accepted. I was always more of an introverted young person. And so I had older parents. So keeping up with fashion trends was not something that was like really important in my house. It was food on your table, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and education. That was the main thing. As long as you have those things, you're good. And so back then, I think everybody was trying to just make it.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
they were trying to make it. So
Right.
there was no, you had to be Gucci and gold.
Yeah.
You know, you had to have red bottoms. You had to have this. You had to have that. You was fine with Oshkosh and, you know what I mean? Franklin's and Levi's, you know what I mean? You were fine with that. You know, you was fine with your corduroys on,
Yeah.
you know? You prayed that your parents got you some Timbs, you
Right.
know, but you
Or some
still,
Jordans, maybe.
yeah, you know, but we also were fine if we got, you know, some Converses,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. And
Yeah.
so there is this this transition that has happened. And it's funny because in the midst of the transition happening, fashion still goes in a circle.
Definitely.
So what was
everything
corny
is coming back, yeah.
when we were younger
Mhm.
is now exciting now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so it's like sometimes it makes you scratch your head. But I think that from home, there was a teaching
Mhm.
to be you, be uniquely
That's true.
you.
Yeah.
You know, find your own identity. Your parents will always say, don't try to be like nobody else.
Exactly. Yep.
Be the best you
Mhm.
that you can be. And it would seem as if being the best you that you can be nowadays is taboo.
For sure, yeah.
You know, it's something that you're corny if you being you.
Mhm.
Now imagine.
Yeah, like how am I corny when this is who I am? Like I'm doing this because I like it. I'm listening to this music.
Yeah.
Like I remember hearing, and I'm sure it's different now because it seems like a lot of celebrities do it now, so it's okay. But like back in the day, like if you were a black kid and you like anime, like the Asian cartoons and stuff, you were like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, but what if this is just what I like?
Exactly.
I enjoy this. You might like Franklin and I like anime.
Right.
Like,
Dragon
you
Ball
know,
Z.
recess. Right. You get like, you know, it was like so many things where I feel like back in the day, not, and I'm saying back in the day, like we're so old, but that's how it feels, right? Like it feels like it was like a century ago.
It does.
Because everything is the same. And you kind of sort of answered my question, but I wanted to know, like, for you personally, right? Because we talk more abstract, like social media. But for you personally, like, how did you come to find your identity? Would you say it started with your upbringing, and then as you got older, like in a world where we're taught we get to a certain age where we like, oh, I got to be cool. Like, all right, I'm out of my parents' house. I'm grown now. Like, how did you form, I guess, your own identity? Like once you left the house?
So I think for me, forming my own identity came with my understanding of who God is in my life. And so we are created beings made in the imago Dei, the image of God. And so in order for me to discover who I am, I can't discover who I am apart from my creator.
Yep.
And so that's just like, in order to really know the workings behind an iPhone, we got to talk to the creator. You know, I used to work for a technology company in Horsham, and we worked on government and pharmaceutical patents. And so I got to see all of the specs that it took to create different things. And so the descriptors, everything that was inside of it. And I was like, wow, you know, it helped me to realize that it's a process to get something manufactured and approved through the Patent and Trade Office. But through that, I got to see everything that contributes to what makes something so great, you know, and that's how we are. You know, when we are in relationship with God, we get to see everything that makes us so great.
Yeah.
And makes us so who we are. And it should make us appreciate our uniqueness.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to blend in.
Yeah.
You know, kind of have the I think it's the chameleon mentality.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, where I just blend into whatever the environment is. I don't want to stand out. So if it's blue, then I'm going to turn blue. You know what I mean? To fit the environment that I'm in. And unfortunately, we are breeding a society.
Yeah. who
that is okay with that.
And that's so true. And it's interesting that we are talking about this today because within the past 2 years, on our last episode, the pilot, we talked a little bit about our background, and I was sharing how, for me, I came from the same household where I had parents who were like, I don't care what they doing. You are you, and be you, and, you know, celebrate you, like, be okay with that. But then you do get at a certain point where you leave a house, right? You're becoming your own person, because sometimes when we take too much from our household, we're not growing. We're just repeating that same pattern, and sometimes it's negative and sometimes it's positive. So we do get to that age where we want to know who we are. We have that foundation, good or bad, but now we have to form ourselves. So I can say I've always been somebody who liked doing my own thing and didn't need the acceptance of people. But then it also came time when the Lord took me out of that corporate world and catapulted me to where I'm at now, where I would literally say, and I think I told you this in our conversations, that like I feel like I was really going through an identity crisis. Like I felt like I had that foundation and the Lord had allowed me to do so much even with my career. But then once he started revealing to me like what he wanted me to do, I was like, I don't know who I am. Apart from what I like, because this is who I used to be.
Yeah.
This is what I used to do for work. These are the people I used to be around. These are the things I used to do with these people I was around. And now that you are separating me from that, who am I? Like independent of that. And so for people who are listening to this conversation and they're starting that inner talk of like, who am I? Like let me put the phone down. Let me put my upbringing to the side and think about who I am. What do I like? Who do I want to be? I think we have to also talk about how hard and challenging that could be, right? To like break away from the mold and want to be your own person in a world where we are, I feel, kind of like not taught, but it's unspoken, but we feel like we have to blend in.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a journey of acceptance.
Yeah.
So accepting that who I thought I was is not really who I am. And so a lot of times I feel like the hardest part of maturing in life and discovering in life is having to undo your thought process. So I've created this identity and defined who I am as this. You know, I am the party person. I am, you know what I mean? The life of the party.
Yeah.
I'm the social person, social butterfly, you know what I mean? I'm the turn up, king or queen,
Right.
I am the one who always stay ready, you know what I mean? Just in case something getting ready to pop
down.
off.
Right.
These are all the things that I am, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, that's not who you are. That's just who you identified as. Because in reality, who you are is nothing connected to that. And so the journey is, how do I undo what I have been doing? How do I undo my thinking to understand that God don't want me out here being ratchet or, you know what I mean? How can I say that I am a royal priesthood and a holy nation? As the scripture says, how can I say that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made? But this is the way I'm carrying myself. It's a contradiction. And so we have to undo, and understand that real change is not in our ability. A lot of times people think they can change themselves. If you could change yourself, you don't need God. And if you could change yourself, you would have been changed.
Wow.
Like,
that's good.
You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. You need the help.
You need help.
You need the help. It's rare that when people walk away from addictions, that they don't need some type of assistance or accountability.
Yeah.
You need the help in order for you to fully walk away from it. Because you need somebody to say, when you having those moments when you have that taste for it, and you fighting, and it's within your reach, you need to be able to pick up the phone and say, I'm desiring it. I want it right now. I have it available. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm coming over right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pouring everything out. I'm throwing everything. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need the help.
Wow.
And then we can't rely on our own strength. Paul says this in 2 Corinthians 12 that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Because he was talking about the thorn in his flesh,
the thorn
right?
in the flesh,
and he wanted to get rid of it, like, because it's uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Whatever that thing is, it's like, can you just take it away so I don't have to deal with it at all? And God's like, no, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I'm not.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
So just get used to it, but know that only through my power can you still be made whole, even though you're dealing with this weakness.
Absolutely. And that takes vulnerability.
And and self-awareness.
Yeah.
And being honest, right? Because we want to be macho and, I got it. I'm good. And it's like, you don't got nothing. Like, you're struggling.
And that's also because we have become conditioned to show up as strength.
Yeah.
So what we do in our relationship dynamics and our family dynamics and things like that, we feel like this is who we are. But in reality, with God, you don't have to show up in strength. God is the one truth in our life that we don't have to show up as strength.
Yeah. We can be like broken
yes.
and weak. As weak. And of course, and that right there is, it takes getting used to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that blows me away sometimes when I think, like, when I read those scriptures where the Lord is pretty much saying, like, why are you worried? Like, can you add a day to your life by worrying? Well, if you can't do that, then why are you worrying about, like, why are you worrying, period? Mm-hmm. And I feel like as adults, right, we're taught to be responsible. Mm-hmm. We're taught to be self-sufficient. We're taught to be strong. And these are the characteristics of a responsible adult.
Yeah.
Like, those are all characteristics, right? But then, and that's our nature. I mean, some of us, right? Because you got grown people who are not self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
They're not responsible. Like, so I'm not saying this is everybody, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, what God wants us to do is literally like the opposite of that. So you have to understand, like, that's going to be difficult to be like, so what you mean don't worry about nothing? Right. Like, there's a lot to worry about. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me to just chill?
Yeah.
Like, how do I do that? Like, and that blows my mind. Like, Lord, like, you want to take care of everything. Like, you said you're going to take care of my needs. Like, it just it's very challenging as a human being to understand that, like, we serve a God that, like, he delights in that. Like, I want you to come to me. Even if you feel like it's the most minuscule, minimal thing, I want you to trust that I will take care of that.
Absolutely.
But it goes against our nature because we feel like, I read something that said, like, when we worry, one of the reasons why we worry or we might have anxiety is because we feel like, depending on what's going on, if we don't worry or have anxiety about it, we feel like we're not doing anything to make it better or different. Like, we feel like, okay, I'm worried about this, and Lord, I need you to know that this is big to me because I'm worrying about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas it's like, but I don't need you to. Like, yeah, it could be a major problem. It could be issues with your health. The doctor done told you some bad news. Yeah. And you think by you worrying and stressing, that's showing me, talking about God, like, that you're really concerned and you want to be healthier. But what if I told you, you don't got to do that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Because, I mean, when was the last time you stressed over something so much and God was like, all right, I'm going to give you a reprieve? No, that's not the way it works.
Right.
Because ultimately we're called to trust in God and not lean to our own understanding. Right. Cast our cares on God. You know what I mean? And so in reality, God is the only difference maker.
Literally.
In us becoming who we are called to be. And I think that another part of the struggle of transformation, Romans 12, 1 and 2, I beseech you, brothers, by the mercy of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and accepted to God, which your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It is looking at the world and accepting the fact that that cannot be the model for how I live my life.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing to do is to walk away from what seems so fun.
For sure. That's a struggle, yeah.
It's every day we're constantly faced with the struggle.
Yeah.
When I wake up, I want to do good, but evil's always with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrestling every day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to, and that's why one of the reasons why God looks at our hearts.
Yeah.
Because our hearts are really, really speaks to what we really desire. Our flesh is constantly struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I've been doing this thing. Like, I remember growing up in church all my life. And then I went to college and I was like, I done lost my damn mind. I'm partying and
having
drinking.
A ball.
I'm having a ball, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like, I lost my mind. What it showed me was that going to church is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to church and be in church every week, but the church not being you.
Yeah, so true. So true.
And so that's why it's so easy for my mind to be converted to worldly. We're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. So our first mindset is evil.
Yeah.
You don't have to teach a baby to do something wrong.
Yeah.
They already
it's
know
like the
how to do it.
Right.
You got to teach them how to do something right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think that, that's the struggle sometimes, because it seems like what the world has to offer is so fun.
Yeah, like you missing out.
Yes.
But you did a sermon and one day, I mean, you did plenty, but this one in particular, you said, fun is not full. And that was so deep to me because it just reminded me that like fun is so like momentary. Right? Like you get lit, right? That night.
Right.
All right, I'm having a ball. You wake up, you feel terrible. And then the night goes so fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you having the best night of your life. And then before you know it, it's 6 a.m. And it's like, yo, like I wasn't finished having fun yet.
Yes.
And then I got to deal with the repercussions because I had a little bit too much to drink. So that's just an example of like, for the moment it's fun. And then it's just in a flash is over. Yeah. And now you try and go out the next night. And then if it's a Friday, you're like, oh snap, we got Saturday. Like we trying to now get that back.
I ain't got Saturday. I ain't got Saturday. I got to be up early Sunday.
Well, I'm talking about back in the day. I'm talking about like college.
And even college, I'll be honest with you. Going out on a Saturday night. So I went to Westchester. So Thursday night was the night.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Thursday night was the night. And Friday, something might be happening at the Purple Gym. But Saturdays, most of the time people went home.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Saturday nights, most of the time people went home. I ain't had an HBCU
I went to Hampton. I see that pin you got is HU1 and I peeped that. But yeah, Hampton, you like Saturday people went home. No. Yeah. The only time they went home was Thanksgiving, Christmas break. Yeah. Thursday was Thirsty Thursday. And Hampton University was literally like in the center of Hampton, Virginia.
Yes.
Wasn't nothing going on in Hampton, Virginia. So that was it.
Yeah.
More than likely, if you stayed on campus, you had a big brother or big sister, they stayed off campus. So they would come get you.
Got you.
You would go to the back gate because they couldn't come on campus in case, unless they had a little tag. Nobody was paying for that. All right, I'll come get you at the back gate. So you go to the back gate, and this is Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. This is the whole weekend, okay? So they picking you up from the back gate. You go into if they live right across from campus, those was the Hampton Harbors. Okay. That was easy. You could just walk to the Harbors. And it was always a Harbors party going on with the Everclear and everything. But if your big brother or sister lived off campus, they had to come get you.
Got you.
And it was a whole situation. So it was 3 nights in a row. So I can't, It was always something going on. And I remember my mom calling me like, every time I talk to you, you like on your way somewhere. And I feel like it took me a good like 10 plus years years to like settle down and realize like you don't have to go out, but it made it so you always had something going on. Yeah. So I just had to throw that in there. No, you talk about Saturday night, you go home. Yeah, that's prime time.
You went home, or you might have went to Lincoln or Cheney because they were having something, or Dell State because they were having something on a Saturday night or a Friday or a Saturday night.
It's like the weekend.
Those four are like pocketed very closely, you know what I mean? Because also the other thing is that there was not a lot of people who were kissed by nature's son on the campus of Westchester University when I was going there. So, you know, that's when they was just really starting to, you know, let us in so they can get that funding.
But wait, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so it wasn't, oh yeah, okay, got you. It took a minute for me to, never heard that one before. But yeah, HBCU experience totally different. As you can imagine, right?
Absolutely.
It's like your people and we're here for higher education. Beautiful Black people.
Yeah.
Beautiful campus.
We have nothing against HBCUs. Let's just make that straight for the record.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Or the PWIs, because, you know, now PWIs are becoming more...
what?
Some can look like HBCUs.
I don't know. Not no more with this regime we got going on.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. But when you talk about athletes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because a lot of PWIs have the funding to be able to recruit a lot of African-American Black
full scholarships,
athletes, full scholarships, you know, and now that, you know, you can get paid, you know, while in college, you can accept, you know, contracts and things like that. Which in reality, I have nothing bad to say about that, because if you're doing the work, why should people make money off your back?
Absolutely. Absolutely, you know, right.
Why should people make money out of your back?
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, a mentality can be developed from that. A slave mentality.
Oh, yeah. For sure, because we know who's the recruiters, like,
you know, and you identify as, I can never be the boss. I'm always supposed to be the worker.
So true.
And we as a people, we run from stepping out and being bosses. And I ain't talking about I'm what you say out your mouth. I'm talking about taking leaps.
Yeah. Shortchanging
entrepreneurship, you know, starting nonprofits, you know, positive nonprofits that actually do the work, and not nonprofits that just steal the money.
And say get the grant money and state money. Yeah, you know,
I'm Joshua. I approve this message solely because unfortunately we live in a city where your nonprofit can do nothing and still keep getting grant funding,
which is okay. Yeah. All right, let's go back. Let's take it back, because we went on a tangent. We talked about fun being full, college life, and then it just went all the way left.
But all contributes to identity.
Definitely, yeah.
All contributes to identity. And so, who are you now?
You asking me who am I? Oh, wow.
How do you identify in this stage of your life?
Well, I identify gladly as someone, and I think I said this the last episode, like a woman of God who's like genuinely like on fire for God. Having my fun. I forgot what scripture it is where in the Bible it talks about pretty much like you spend enough years living in debauchery. Pretty much saying you could do what I'm asking you to do now. And I feel that way, sincerely. Like I had my fun, Lord. Like even us talking about Hampton, like Hampton was so much fun. 3 years. I didn't graduate from Hampton. Their nursing program wasn't the greatest and it was not cheap. So I had to do what I had to do. So I'm a proud LaSalle grad or whatever, had to come back to Philly. But for those 3 years I was there, I had fun. I do feel like that kind of set the stage of like my 20s and just wanting to be in the mix, you know, so having my fun. But really, now that I think back, like thanking the Lord that he like kept me and protected me. Cause you know, when you're younger, you could be doing some real like crazy things or just, you know, drinking and not smart choices. Right. And more importantly, you don't know who you around. So you don't know what, you know, you could be exposed to or who you could be exposed to. So like at this point in my life, I don't have any interest in the partying scene. Like I love traveling, so that's something where it's like, of course, if I'm in another country, I feel like I'm more likely to want to be in a mix just because it's, seeing what they have to offer. But now I'm genuinely just desiring to be as pure as possible.
Okay.
Still struggling sometimes. Of course, I'm human, like you said. We're sinful. We are of the flesh. The flesh is always going to be trying to get you to do things or think you're not capable of things.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to me being an entrepreneur, like leaving that corporate nursing world to build my business and my brand, like I really thought it was like a career journey. And it's like, no, this is a life journey. Like this is a spiritual journey. Like the Lord has given me identity that you are an entrepreneur. You're going to be using your gifts to help women heal, and make them feel more confident and comfortable. Just being honest, like we said, with identity, like before you could change anything, you have to be self-aware and you have to be honest about where you are without shame, without guilt, without judgment, even towards yourself. Because a lot of times women and men too have been through things and they think that identifies who they are or something must be wrong with them because it's happened to them. And it's like you don't want to talk about it. So now you suppressing it. So now you're angry or you're, depressed or just not feeling that great about yourself because this thing happened to you or you were, you witnessed something, whatever the case may be. And now you are holding on to this, and it's not really until you let go that I feel like you're able to genuinely see yourself as God sees you. And like you said, understand that you can't do it by yourself. Like, it's no way. Like, it's just not possible. Yeah. It's really not possible. Like, so that's who I am. I mean, I hope I answered the question. It was a lot.
I think that was good. And I think that Tai now would look back at Tai then and say that there's been a change.
Definitely. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. For sure. For sure.
If we can't see the change, we can't expect other people to see the change in us.
That's good.
So we have to see the change. And I think that you said something that I feel like is so important, and so I've given enough time to being who I wanted to be. Now it's time for me to walk in who I'm supposed to be.
That's deep.
Like, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I acted like a child. But when I became adult, I put away childish things. I put away childish conversation and things like that. And we notice that, as we grow older, our desire changes, our interest change. Yeah. What used to be exciting is not as exciting anymore. Yeah. What we desire to do it is different. I don't need to be out Saturday night. Like I don't know if I necessarily could be outside till 2 a.m. and wake up feeling like myself, the next day. Because number one, my body is wired that I can't sleep past like 6.
Certain age, certain time. Yeah.
It's going to affect me. I'm gonna need a nap. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Because the busyness of life and the day and things like that, it can throw you off when you don't have the proper rest.
Yep. So true.
And so, one thing I would, what I would say is that sometimes we have to celebrate our nouns because of how we've grown from our past. It's good to give yourself a pat on the back when you've allowed God to do the transforming work in you. It's good to celebrate yourself when it's like, I remember when. You know what I mean? And kids always say when I'm doing presentations, talking about social media, they say, Facebook is for old people. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Then I'm old because I don't understand TikTok. Like I don't understand it. I figured out Instagram. We were at the night market last night, and I was talking to Minister Tremaine, and I said, I don't know how to go live. Only to discover that if I don't have 1,000 followers
that's
now,
new, I think.
I can't go live.
Yeah,
so
that's new.
So cool. Okay, so I'll just record this and then upload it to my stories. You know what I mean? But it's those types of things where it's like, I don't live a life for social media.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a whole nother podcast topic in itself, right?
Like, because ultimately, my life is constantly on display because I'm called to be light and salt in the midst of a dark world. And so
that's deep.
Until I can truly identify who I am, I'll never have the full happiness that God desires for me.
So true.
Because I'm living.
I'm living.
I'm not living on purpose.
Yeah, and I'm not thriving.
Right.
I'm not thriving. I'm just a robot doing whatever anybody else is, what they say is cool.
Yes.
Versus myself. And I think that comes with experience, getting older. Not to say that younger people can't know this or get this now, but I definitely think it comes with experience when you've done the things, because when you're younger, you feel like you're missing out, right? Like, unless you just super strong and be like, well, I'm not interested, which I know I wasn't like that. I don't feel like I was a kid who was easily pressured, but I was always very curious.
Gotcha.
So if you're telling me not to do that, I want to know it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, exactly. What you mean? Like, you're not going to tell me about it? Like, one thing if I had like, I don't know, an older cousin or auntie was like, well, let me just give you the scoop. Yeah. I'm not supposed to, but let me just, because then as a kid, I'm like, oh, well, they don't sound that fun. But if you're going to make it like forbidden, well, we're going to see what's going on because I'm curious. Yeah. But I think now I'm like, wow, like I'm thankful that I've come to terms with, like you said, that like fun is not always full. And the world is never going to be the standard of who I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Because it's very temperamental. It celebrates you one day, talk trash the next. So are we constantly am I going to constantly keep tussling with the world to be who it wants me to be when I want to be the God that created me? Like, I can't think that I was just a coincidence. Yeah. So I want to get in tune with that. And again, like we said, it's not going to be easy, but I think that awareness, just like with anything else, is like that first step, like being aware of like, I don't know who I am. And being okay with the discomfort that comes with that. Because like I said, I even went through an identity crisis myself. And I'm like, Lord, like, what you want me to do? Yeah. Like, I never did that before. I don't even know nobody in my family that did that before. Like, where is my reference? Then I had to learn, like, he's my reference. That's right. Just trust, just have faith and understand that, like, your life went the way it was supposed to go so far to bring you to this place. But now we got to do a new thing. Yeah. So yeah, identity is important. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like, and I guess I want to ask to reiterate, like, is it possible to know what your identity is by yourself, like without any?
I think that it is impossible to know who you are apart from your creator. And I identify with my creator as God, the Father, and however you identify your creator, you can't discover self until you have spent time with the one that has made you. Because the creator is always greater than the creation. So you knew nothing about your makeup.
Right.
You had nothing to do with the details of it, any of that. There's some things you still haven't even discovered about yourself, if we be honest. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we develop over time as we spend time with our creator.
That's so true. That's so true.
And so So apart from your creator, no, you just floating. You just floating, you know what I mean? Until you sit down and you acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because it's an acknowledgement piece. Until you can acknowledge that I don't know who I am apart from God, then you just are.
You just are, yeah. And I just want to say one last thing, because I think like when we talk about our faith and we talk about who we believe in, like it's genuine and it's from real life experience. You know, I know nowadays being a Christian content creator is like a thing which I don't understand, because like you said, like I don't have to create content. Like I'm a Christian in everything I do. So that's not like a separate area. Like, okay, let's make some Christian content today. Like
non-Christian content.
Exactly. Right. So, you know, but the point I'm making is that it's so many people, and it might be people listening or watching who feel like God is like abstract. And it's like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, what do you mean? And I just want to say that like it's important to understand that the natural is never going to understand the supernatural. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that try to use their wisdom and they use their degrees and their research and their smarts to try and like understand certain things, when you have to you have to understand that you're never going to understand.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? Yeah. Like it's okay. So absolutely. I just want to throw that in there, because as we're talking about identity, we know and we've agreed and reiterated that you can't truly know your identity until you know who identified you. Mm-hmm. Is that a bar?
Yes.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. That is good.
Yeah, but in order to get there, you have to open yourself up to the knowledge that there's some things you may not truly ever totally understand, but you're not supposed to. Yeah. So
I'm not the biggest thing in my world. There is something greater than me.
Yeah, that's good.
So until I can understand that, I'm just, there's a difference between living and existing. Mm-hmm. Some people are just existing.
They're just existing, yeah, which is unfortunate.
Sitting on the dock of the bay wasting time. But living is understanding that I've been created with a purpose.
Yeah.
And until I'm fulfilling that purpose, I'm just existing.
Yeah. So. Well, I think that's a perfect way to end it. I think talking about purpose, that's a good thing to maybe think about for one of our next conversations.
Absolutely.
Purpose. Because I don't think you can know what your purpose is if you don't know what your identity is. It goes hand in hand, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, well, absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in to our first official episode of Honest Exchanges. Absolutely. We talked about a lot. Yeah. It was a lot of good things, and we hope that you were blessed by this conversation, and we hope that you have maybe just started thinking to yourself, like, who am I? What is my identity? Apart from my parents or whoever raised me, apart from what the world says I am, social media, celebrity culture, politicians, Black people, whoever, like we hope you can think about like who you are and challenge yourself to dare to be different.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last thoughts before we get out of here?
It's been a great time.
Always.
Absolutely agree. A lot has been said, and you should never walk away without asking questions of yourselves after you hear content like this. It
Definitely
should make you raise some questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You don't know unless you ask. And so we got to ask questions of ourselves so that we can get to what our true identity is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's
perfect.
It for me.
Yep. That's it. We will check in with y'all next time. Okay. Tell a friend, share this episode. Let us know. We're going to be launching some things on social media. So please let us know in the comments what you think, as well as if it's anything that you want us to have an honest exchange about. Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.